We bought a house and we drive 2 EVs. I did this and I did this, but I only have this. I'm Ryan from RockyMountainTesla, and I'm sharing the data because it's electrifying. I know what a lot of you are thinking. You have a 100 amp panel, you want to go electric, you might even want 2 EVs, but you can't, or you think you can't, without doing a major electrical upgrade. You're probably also thinking, well, a couple electric cars, what they can charge at, say, 40 amps each, maybe even higher, that's already the 80 amp max, or the 80% of a 100 amp panel. But that isn't completely true because of one thing. We don't drive our cars all the time. In fact, because we only drive our cars maybe 5% of the time, there's a lot of time that you can charge your car. And it's about load management, not how many amps you have. There are actually multiple solutions to this problem. Here I'll share a link to a product I know of from Unico Power called Listo, and its ability to smart manage the panel's ability to send electricity to the EVSE, or electric vehicle supply equipment. What we did this time, though, was install a DCC12, and it manages how much power can go to the EVSEs. It's kind of like a hard switch. It just shuts off when the house is using 80 amps. It just shuts off electricity being sent to the EVSEs. Now I said EVSEs. Yes, we have 2. I guess we could take 40 amps and split it by 2. So we're sending 40 amps to our garage where the charging is, to those 2 wall chargers, and I guess we could split it 20 amps each. But what if you could do something else? What if the Tesla wall chargers could share the power? They can! Through Tesla's power sharing capability, these 2 EVSEs are actually daisy chained, and they are sharing the 40 amps. So if one car is not charging, the other one can charge up to 40 amps. Now our Model 3 Standard Range Plus can only charge up to 32 amps on the Tesla wall charger, but still, if they're both plugged in and they're both charging, they basically manage how much power is shared to each one. I don't know the exact math behind it, but often, and I'll show an example of both cars charging and sharing around 20 amps each. You'll see before I hit the start charging on the Model Y that our Standard Range Plus Model 3 is charging at 32 amps. Now when I hit start to charge on the Model Y, it starts to slowly ramp up, starting at 7 amps, and it will start to ramp up, and it's actually going to slowly get to the point where maybe it's around 20 amps each. I moved up the charge limit on the Model Y, and it started taking more amps there and ramping down on the Model 3. So you can see it's splitting the 40 amps, power sharing. Pretty handy. Now if you're really technically inclined, I would say go for it, try to figure this out. Otherwise, I would say talk to a professional if you're not sure, because they will have to go through the firmware and update it so that the Tesla wall chargers can actually use this power sharing feature. What's next though? We don't want to stop at just having 2 electric vehicles and that's it. We actually want to electrify our home completely. So that's a complete electrification project. We are getting solar and heat pumps times 3. And we're doing all of this very soon. We just got approved for our Greener Homes loan. That's $40,000 for the Greener Homes loan here in Canada, a 10-year interest-free loan. So we're going forward with all of these improvements. Oh, and insulation. We had multiple contractors look at the project, and the two that we are going with made me feel the most comfortable, and I will be doing more videos on this, but the two companies are LevelUp Solar and Comfort Union for the HVAC and the heat pump water heater. These two companies made me feel the most comfortable about moving forward, because once you say electric only, some people go, oh, that's not possible. And it's just something I feel more comfortable doing, getting gas out of our home. Just remember though, a 100 amp panel doesn't mean you are stuck doing only so many improvements. There are ways to add load shedding devices in order to prevent maxing out your electricity usage. To help with that, we're also installing an Emporia View 3 monitor on the panels so that we can basically see how much electricity our home is using for different devices. And this will help us in order to know exactly where we can make further improvements. Although we're making a lot of different improvements to make this happen. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information over the next year and trying to show why you should do certain things and things that maybe you shouldn't do, and improvements that you can work on over time. But I want to get the major part of this done so that we can slowly make those additional improvements. So if you want to keep watching more videos on the channel, take a look up here or down there. And don't forget to subscribe, because I will be doing more videos on this subject.